the state used to maintain it, but they didn't maintain it to the level that the city chose to bring it up to.
Is there enough public information out there that really educates people on privatization and using of public monies to improve communities? What do you think we need a long way to go with that? Deb?
We have a long way to go with that. And here's the thing, and here's what I'm hearing. Take all the questions away. This is what I'm hearing. Government is not responsive. The private sector, the private individuals, we've been hit hard in this economy, and they don't see a lot of changes at the government level, and it's frustrating, especially when they feel that there is no response, whether it's true or not. If the perception is there, it's true, especially in the city of Oak Hill. You've worked through a lot of issues, and if you can take that to Southeast Volusia, I can tell you for Southeast Volusia and District 3, when I sit on county boards, I always ask them, where are you in Southeast Volusia? You're using my zip codes to get grants. Where are you? How can my citizens get from Oak Hill, New Smyrna, Edgewater? And the answer always is, well, we have an office in Deltona, we have an office in Daytona. So what you're feeling in Oak Hill, I see for all of District 3, and we need to represent that better at the county level. But government goes to those who show up. It's not transparent. I mean, it's just not yet.
Well, Jim, let me ask you this. The county has a PR staff that puts out press releases every day. Should they be reorienting themselves to maybe putting out what the efforts are of the county council itself?
I'm not sure that, a lot of senior citizens don't. I know my parents don't, and they're senior citizens, and they don't know how to use the internet, so they don't get that information. And
it's becoming more simple.
And if it's not in the newspaper, they're not getting that information. And I agree that sometimes the dissemination of information is poor at best. I mean, a lot of times the elected officials and staff think that the citizenry understands the issues that they're discussing, and it's just not so. It's just not true. And that's unfortunate, because sometimes staff insulates the elected officials to the point to where they say that they're disseminating this information, but it isn't happening. So I think that, from that perspective, it needs to get out. You're right. There needs to be different mechanisms to get the information to the citizens and make them understand this is how this project works. And if you don't like it, stand up now and tell us, and we'll change direction.
I'm just curious, how many of you actually go on the internet on a regular basis? And how many of you really rely on the print newspaper for your news?
There's no newspaper. You know that. Canal Street, Daytona left.
What's the newspaper? I forget.
What newspaper?
Any other questions before we move on to closings, because it is getting late now?
I have one quick question.
Quick, please.
And it's
name,
Lynn
please.
Seward, Oak Hill, and it's for both of you to address. You were talking about the meetings lasting forever and ever. I would like to know how you're going to resolve that. I went to a meeting that I had an issue at. They were supposed to hear our issue at 9 o'clock in the morning. They didn't hear it till 7 o'clock at night. And being a diehard, I stayed till 7 o'clock at night. But the other 20 people that came with me did not. So how would you resolve that?
But first, let me say that when they tell you time certain, it means it won't be heard before time certain. That's what's going on now. From my perspective is, I would go to 4 Thursday night meetings that would start at 6 o'clock in the evening and run to 10 o'clock at night with an extension of 1 hour allowed by council vote, majority council vote, allowing it to extend. That's how I would do it. The other issue is that how do you make these meetings shorter? It's the chair's responsibility to run the meeting. If the chair doesn't run the meeting, the council can vote as majority to instruct the chair to run the meeting differently. But it's up to the chair to make sure things are moving along and that people get their fair time to speak, and only their fair time to speak. I mean, if you've got 500 people in the audience and you give them each 3 minutes, you're going to be there all night anyway. But I think there's an issue, and I agree with you. I think it's a bad problem.
Ms. Denny's, your response?
How many of you have ever been to a county council meeting?
How many would go back to one?
The last time I spoke was regarding our ad authority to the county council policies and procedures. I was there at 8:30 at public input time. I was the third person to speak. To my surprise, I was speaking at 8:45 to one person, the chair. And the 2 gentlemen that spoke prior to me on different issues to the county council were shocked. Where is everybody? And the chair said very graciously, well, they're not required to be here. The meeting doesn't start till 9, but public participation starts at 8:30. What an insult to the citizens to give you and tell you you need to be there at 8:30 to speak to council, and they don't even show up by law till 9. That's going to change when I represent you on District 3. What needs to change? The county manager needs to talk less. Carl Persis alluded to that in the previous debate. If they have a discussion, he'll tell them why this issue is red, why they voted red before, and why it will be green 3 months from now. So,
Okay, we need to, we might get back on schedule.
I just want to thank both of you for coming up, because Oak Hill is kind of like the forgotten stepchild here. It's nice to see somebody show up here.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Deb Denny's, please give us a 2-minute closing on why we should elect you as a District 3 County Council member in 2012.
first of all, thank you for coming and listening to us. Oak Hill is not forgotten. You have one of the best charter schools down there in Burnside Tech. They're building their tower now to communicate. They're one of 3 schools in the country to communicate with the International Space Station live. That's wonderful. It's putting you on the map here. I'm Deb Denny's. I have 11 grandchildren. We have 4 children. We're small business owners. I have served Volusia County as an elected official, I've been appointed by 2 different governors to a statewide organization. And there my peers elected me as system development for the state, for that organization. I love Volusia County. We live here, we work here, we play here, and I'm going to work hard to earn your vote. Thank you for having us here. Thank you for staying to listen. Great ideas. Call me, please, if you have more questions. I'm available. Deb Denny's for County Council.
Thank you. Mr. Hathaway, 2 minutes, please, closing.
Thank you. Again, I appreciate the fact that you all stayed here tonight to listen to us. I know sometimes it can be boring, but I'm glad you stuck around and listened to us. 59 years resident here in Southeast Volusia, raised 4 grown, wonderful children who are very successful in their career path. I have 4 great grandkids, and a wonderful, loving wife who stood by my side through all these meetings that she's allowed me to attend. I've spent almost 25 years of my life representing the citizens of New Smyrna Beach, and I'm willing to spend the next 2 years representing the citizens of Southeast Volusia. I think I bring a lot to the plate. I think I have a lot to offer to you, the citizenry. I'm here ready to work. You can contact me at votejimhathaway.com. Look at my website, check it out, see what you like about it, and contact me. My number's in the phone book, James W. Hathaway, 58 Cunningham Drive, New Smyrna Beach. I'm listed in the landline, and my cell line is listed on my website. So I wish you the very best in Oak Hill. You will not be forgotten, as I have not forgotten the citizens of New Smyrna Beach, nor will I forget the citizens of Edgewater, Port Orange, the unincorporated areas, the people in those teams that vote for us, and the people in the entire Volusia County, because our vote counts through the entire county. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak to you tonight.
Give them a I would just like to say thank you to everybody for coming tonight. We promised you, Mr. Gibson, when we were in the primary in Brandon Center in New Smyrna Beach, that we would make our next stop in Oak Hill, and you all did well tonight in representing yourselves. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And this will be online tomorrow.
Good luck.
Thank you.
See you later.
Yeah. Thanks so much. Thank you for your question.
I still hurt.
I won't be in the gym too early.
I don't think I'll be in the gym tomorrow, period.
Thanks, sir.